Today we're going to explore the top 10 foods that can actively support the healing of your kidneys. Right from the start, we need to clarify a major point of confusion. Typically, when people discuss a kidney diet, they talk about it as if it's a single, universal plan. However, the strategy makes a world of difference depending on what stage of kidney disease you're in and what your ultimate goal is. You see, the standard dietary recommendations, what is conventionally labeled a kidney diet, focus primarily on restricting certain elements. And this approach has nothing to do with actual healing. What they are really talking about is damage control for advanced cases. Because the kidneys aren't functioning properly, we have to limit certain substances so that toxins don't accumulate too rapidly in the bloodstream. Now, when we shift our conversation to genuine healing recommendations, when we are actually attempting to repair the kidneys and restore them back to a healthy state, we are discussing a completely different strategy. When medical professionals classify kidney disease, they divide it into distinct stages from 1 through 5, with stage 3 also having an A and B classification. This diagnosis is primarily based on a biomarker called creatinine. As you may know, your kidneys filter hundreds of liters of blood fluid every single day. Along with that, water passes virtually everything that is dissolved in it except for very large particles, like red blood cells and certain proteins. So, elements like sodium, glucose, and creatinine all get filtered out with the water. However, the kidney then reabsorbs everything the body considers valuable. Glucose, for instance, gets reabsorbed at nearly 100%, assuming a person isn't diabetic. Sodium is reabsorbed at over 99%, but creatinine gets reabsorbed at 0%. Therefore, if creatinine levels in the blood begin to rise, it indicates that the kidney's filtration flow is not optimal. There isn't enough fluid moving through the kidney's filtering units, and this filtration rate is measured in milliliters per minute and is called the estimated glomerular filtration rate, or eGFR. Doctors estimate this based on your creatinine level. If you're filtering 90 milliliters per minute or more, you are either completely normal or you could have a kidney issue classified as stage 1 that isn't related to filtration volume. If you're filtering more than 60 but less than 90 milliliters per minute, you're in stage 2. A somewhat ironic point is that this is often still called normal on standard blood test reports, meaning you could be in stage 1 or 2 and your results might not be flagged. The next stage drops to 45, which is stage 3A. Then we go down to 30 milliliters for stage 3B. If your eGFR is between 15 and 30, it's classified as stage 4. And if it falls below 15, that is stage 5 or end-stage renal disease. This point, a person is very close to complete kidney failure, and typically dialysis or a transplant become the only viable medical options. Now, on average, about 15% of the general population has some degree of kidney compromise, placing them in one of these stages. That translates to roughly 1 in 7 people worldwide. Out of that 15%, only about 1% are in stage 5. If we include stage 4, that brings us to about 3%. So stages 4 and 5 together represent about 4% of that original 15%, meaning they still constitute less than 1% of the total population. These are the individuals who really need to be exceptionally careful, following clinical guidelines very strictly, and avoiding a range of dietary substances. Then we have the other side of the spectrum. Those in stage 1 don't really have this filtration problem at all, and don't need to avoid anything from a standard kidney diet perspective. Those in stage 2 also don't need to restrict anything in terms of that conventional diet. Instead, they need to begin addressing the root cause, whatever that may be. This group, stages 1 and 2, comprises about 50% of all people with some kidney compromise. Within stage 3, 3A is twice as common as 3B. So overall, we have about 20% of people with kidney issues who need to pay close attention to dietary restrictions, stages 5, 4, and 3B. However, the remaining 80% of people with kidney disease find that the traditional kidney diet really doesn't apply to them at all because that diet is about restricting things the kidneys are failing to eliminate, and their kidneys are still capable enough. This leads to a huge and critical point of confusion. Just because a person with kidney failure needs to avoid these things does not mean that these nutrients are the root cause of the disease. Instead, these are essential resources. We need minerals, we need protein, we need water when we are healthy to prevent kidney disease from developing. And if we have a mild case, we need these very same nutrients to help reverse it. We must be perfectly clear on this because it's a common mistake to assume that if we have to limit something when the kidney is damaged, then it must have been the cause. Nothing could be further from the truth. We need these building blocks to heal. To understand which foods truly support kidney healing, we need to grasp the root causes of kidney disease. The number one cause is type 2 diabetes. After that, we have hypertension as a very close second, followed by kidney infections in much smaller percentages. Did you know that certain medications can also cause kidney damage, particularly over-the-counter drugs like non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs? These are pain relievers and cold flu medications you can buy without a prescription, and you don't want to use them unless absolutely necessary. Then we have conditions like lupus, an autoimmune disease. Many people are familiar with rheumatoid arthritis that affects joints and bones. Lupus is a similar autoimmune process, but it targets soft tissues, and the kidneys are often one of the primary organs attacked. We could also have poisoning from heavy metals or environmental chemicals that can directly injure the kidneys. Many pesticides and high doses of industrial chemicals can create significant problems as well. The reason I emphasize sugar in addition to the traditional criteria is that the number one, by a huge margin, contributor to kidney disease is type 2 diabetes. Not only that, but diabetes is also the primary driver for hypertension. So, if we can effectively manage the insulin resistance that causes both type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure, we have likely eliminated about 90% of all kidney disease right there. Number 10. Berries. Berries are recommended for being low in potassium and a good source of vitamin C and fiber. The numbers are quite low across the board for raspberries, and strawberries are similarly low. This makes them a great food. If you're trying to reverse insulin resistance with a low-carb or ketogenic diet, you can still enjoy a handful of berries. Now, if you worked on a berry farm and sampled one for everyone you picked, you could potentially overdo it on both sugar and potassium. But for a moderate handful, you're going to be just fine. Berries contain powerful antioxidants that protect kidney cells from oxidative damage while providing fiber that supports overall metabolic health. The key is moderation. A quarter to half-cup serving provides benefits without overwhelming your system with sugar. Number 9. Garlic. Garlic is a powerful medicinal herb that shows up in many health contexts, and it is indeed very potent. Looking at the mineral content, phosphorus is somewhat high, and potassium is quite high, while sodium and sugar are very low. However, we must remember that garlic is not a food you consume in pound quantities. If you have a couple of cloves or even a whole bulb, you won't ingest enough for the potassium to become a genuine problem. Garlic possesses remarkable anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties that can support kidney health. It helps improve circulation, supports immune function, and contains compounds that may help protect kidney cells from damage. You can use garlic freely in cooking without concern. I should also mention ginger, which is very similar in its medicinal, antibacterial, and antifungal properties. Again, you're only going to consume a few grams or an ounce at most, so it's not a concern for kidney patients at any stage. Number 8. Cabbage. Cabbage contains phytochemicals with anti-inflammatory properties that may assist the kidney in healing. When we examine the nutrients we might need to avoid, they are all very low. So we don't have a problem with cabbage. Cabbage is exceptionally versatile and can be consumed in various forms: raw in coleslaw, sautéed as a side dish, or incorporated into soups and stews. It provides fiber, vitamins, and beneficial plant compounds while remaining low in the minerals that concern kidney patients. If you went on a cabbage soup diet where that's all you ate, that might create issues, but for normal culinary use, it's perfectly fine. Cabbage supports digestive health and provides nutrients without placing stress on compromised kidneys. Number 7. Cucumber. Cucumber is recommended as being low in potassium and a refreshing option for hydration. It's very fresh and has extremely low numbers across the board for all the minerals we monitor in kidney disease. The high water content in cucumber makes it an excellent choice for supporting kidney function. Proper hydration is crucial for kidney health, as it helps your kidneys flush out toxins and metabolic waste more efficiently. Cucumber also provides small amounts of vitamins and minerals while contributing virtually no sugar, sodium, potassium, or phosphorus that could burden compromised kidneys. You can enjoy cucumber freely in salads, as a snack, or infused in water for additional flavor. Number 6. Olive oil. Olive oil is praised for containing heart-healthy monounsaturated fats, and I completely agree. I would recommend specifically extra virgin olive oil, and even better if it's organic, as it's become quite affordable. Looking at the minerals, phosphorus, potassium, and sodium are virtually zero. But I want to highlight a huge common misconception. Olive oil, which is technically a plant or fruit oil, contains 16% saturated fatty acids and 74% monounsaturated fatty acids. The fat profile of extra virgin olive oil is actually much closer to beef fat than it is to other seed oils. These healthy fats support cardiovascular health, which is intimately connected to kidney function. Use olive oil generously in cooking and on salads. Overall, olive oil definitely earns top marks. Put it on everything. It provides essential fatty acids without contributing any of the minerals that kidney patients need to monitor. Number 5. Onions. Onions are often recommended because they provide robust flavor without adding a lot of potassium. The numbers look good for most metrics. Potassium isn't too high, and the sugar content is negligible. So, as long as you aren't consuming an entire meal of them, like making onion soup and eating a pound or two, you likely won't have a potassium issue. Given how most people use onions as a seasoning and flavor enhancer, this is an excellent choice for kidney patients. Onions also contain beneficial plant compounds, including quercetin, which has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. They add tremendous flavor to dishes without requiring salt, making them particularly valuable for people who need to limit sodium intake. Number 4. Red bell peppers. Bell peppers are recommended as being low in potassium and high in vitamins A and C. The red and green varieties have slightly different profiles, but both are generally acceptable for kidney patients. If you just have a few slices in a salad, it's not a problem. But if you make a large stir-fry or fajitas loaded with bell peppers, you might need to be mindful of portion sizes if you're in advanced kidney disease stages. Red bell peppers are particularly rich in vitamin C and antioxidants that protect kidney cells from oxidative damage. They add color, crunch, and nutrition to meals while remaining relatively low in the minerals that concern kidney patients. The green pepper is a slightly better option if you are strictly restricting potassium, but for most people in early-stage kidney disease, either variety works well in moderate amounts. Number 3. Fish. Fish is recommended as an excellent source of omega-3 fats and high-quality protein, and I totally agree. It's a fabulous food. Taking salmon as an example, we see that phosphorus and potassium are at reasonable levels. You are not going to eat salmon by the pound. A typical serving is 4 to 8 ounces, about 100 to 200 grams. It's a concentrated, satisfying food, so there's no problem there. The omega-3 fatty acids in fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines provide powerful anti-inflammatory benefits that can help protect kidney function. These healthy fats support cardiovascular health, which is crucial since heart disease and kidney disease often occur together. Fish provides complete high-quality protein that your body needs for tissue repair and maintenance. Unlike some protein sources that are high in phosphorus, fish offers a good balance of nutrients appropriate for kidney patients. Number 2. Eggs. Eggs are often recommended with the caveat that people should eat only egg whites for low phosphorus protein. However, I always advise people that you don't really want to eat egg whites by themselves because nature packaged the whole egg for a reason. When you consume the whole egg, you are getting considerably more phosphorus, which could be a concern in advanced stages, but the other nutrient numbers are still good. For most people in stages 1 through 3A, whole eggs are perfectly appropriate and provide superior nutrition. They call egg white a high-quality protein, but we need to understand that when you isolate the egg white, you are only absorbing and utilizing about 1/3 of its protein potential. The whole egg provides complete nutrition, including healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals. If you're on a healing diet to reverse kidney disease and you're eating a moderate number of eggs, say 2 to 4 daily, you're getting excellent nutrition without excessive phosphorus. Only in very advanced kidney disease would you need to limit whole eggs. Number 1. Beef. When we include fish as an excellent protein source, we should definitely consider beef as well. It's just that saturated fat myth we've been told that unfairly maligns it. In fact, when it comes to the nutrients we monitor for a kidney diet, beef actually looks slightly better than many alternatives in these comparisons. Beef provides complete high-quality protein that your body needs for healing and repair. It's rich in vitamins and minerals, including B vitamins, iron, and zinc, nutrients that are often deficient in kidney disease patients. The protein in beef is highly bioavailable, meaning your body can efficiently use it for tissue repair and maintenance. When you're trying to heal your kidneys, you need adequate protein to support the regeneration of damaged tissue. Many people with kidney disease are told to severely restrict protein, but this advice typically applies only to those in advanced stages. For people in stages 1, 2, and even 3A, moderate protein intake from high-quality sources like beef is not only safe, but beneficial. The key is consuming appropriate portions. A serving of beef is typically 4 to 6 ounces, which provides excellent nutrition without overwhelming your kidneys with excessive nitrogen waste. Understanding the path to healing. When is there still genuine hope for improvement rather than just managing consequences? With stage 5, unfortunately, it is probably too late in most cases. There isn't a lot of regenerative potential left when damage is that extensive. However, this affects a very small percentage of the population. If you are in this stage, you absolutely must work with a nephrologist who can meticulously measure your levels, monitor your kidney function, and advise you on when interventions like dialysis or a transplant are necessary. When it comes to stages 3 and 4, the odds are significantly better. Stage 4 will undoubtedly be tough, but it is possible to make positive changes. The specific cause also matters. If it's due to lupus, an autoimmune condition, it may be more complex to address than if it's rooted in insulin resistance. If insulin resistance is the driver, the path is more straightforward. Reverse the insulin resistance and diabetic condition. This is achieved through strategies like a low-carb or ketogenic diet and intermittent fasting. For those in stage 2, where kidney function is still reasonably good and no major dietary restrictions are needed, improvement is typically quite straightforward. Focus on the root cause, usually insulin resistance, and address it through appropriate dietary changes. Critical understanding for kidney health. When it comes to kidney health, dietary restrictions, and recommendations, we must fundamentally understand the difference between addressing the root cause and implementing damage control. If we want to heal, we must target the root cause. However, most of the conventional kidney diet is solely about damage control, limiting the substances that failing kidneys can't excrete, thereby reducing toxicity in the body. This diet has its place, but it applies primarily to those with chronic kidney disease in stages 5, 4, and 3B. That's only 20% of all people classified with kidney disease. For all the others, our focus should be on reversal. And once we commit to reversal, we must understand that it's not about limiting healthy minerals and protein. These are essential nutrients we need. We need the protein. We need the fat. We need all the beneficial building blocks to rebuild tissue. What we need to eliminate is the primary interfering factor, which is high insulin levels that drive kidney failure, hypertension, and the entire metabolic syndrome. The 10 foods we've discussed, berries, garlic, cabbage, cucumber, olive oil, onions, red bell peppers, fish, eggs, and beef, provide the nutrition your kidneys need to heal while supporting your overall metabolic health. Combined with addressing insulin resistance through appropriate dietary strategies, these foods can help you reverse kidney disease rather than simply manage its progression. Always consult with your healthcare provider or nephrologist before making significant dietary changes, especially if you have existing kidney disease or take medications. This information is for educational purposes and is not intended to replace professional medical advice.